A very warm welcome to the premiere episode of ETH World L&D Superfood. This is not just another learning and development series. It is a unique initiative crafted to deliver exceptional L&D insights right to your screens within an electrifying 10-minute package and meeting the ever-changing needs of learners. Think of it this way. Just as superfood provides a concentrated source of nutrients, the insights in this series offer a concentrated dose of knowledge that will empower you to enhance your strategies, overcome obstacles, and drive transformative learning experiences within your organization. So grab your metaphorical spoon and get ready to feast on the L&D superfood of knowledge and wisdom. With that, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Rohin Nadir, Chief Learning Officer at KPMG India, who will be guiding us through this inaugural episode of ETH World L&D Superfood. Hi, Rohin. Glad to have you with us today.
Thank you so much, Apeksha, and it's a pleasure being here. A slight amount of pressure also because this is the inaugural episode, but I'm so happy to be here. And as a L&D leader, thank you so much for starting this. We really needed something like this. So I'm happy you guys have taken the lead on this. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Rohin. So to kick things off and to start off this conversation, Rohit, let me quickly come to you with my first question. If you can share with us the trends that have set the ball rolling for L&D in recent times.
Okay. Many things have happened. I'll give you my top three. One is online learning platforms. Number one, online learning platforms like LinkedIn, Pluralsight, they have fundamentally altered the game. When we talked about building scalable learning ecosystems, these are the pillars on which these ecosystems have been built. They have given learners the kind of choice which they never had. So that's trend number one. Trend number two, which has been very significant, is just how we have moved from LMSs to LXPs. LXPs did one very smart thing. They just completely changed the learner experience. They allowed us to look at data which never existed earlier. They allowed, and this is a big one, for personalization of learning. So that's the second big thing which I think made a lot of difference. And the third one, which I'm quite fond of, is this entire hybrid learning design. See, classical learning was you put people in a classroom, you did 1 day, 2 days, if you were really intense, you did 5 days. But hybrid learning design, which is got synchronous, asynchronous elements, in-person, virtual, extending over days, weeks, months, that sort of a design, that started kicking off a couple of years back. And now everyone takes it for granted. But I don't think people realize or appreciate what a difference it has made. It aligns amazingly well with how humans learn. It has allowed people to pace out their learning, and it blends in beautifully with our online learning platforms and LXPs. So these three things together have set the foundation for what everyone calls a learning ecosystem.
Excellent insights, Rohin. So now let's address the challenges that concern L&D leaders deeply.
Yeah, okay. So I go to a lot of roundtables, meet a lot of people. First thing which pops up everywhere is the ROI, return on investment challenge. Everyone talks about it. I think there is some very good work which has been done. But currently, where I've seen our industry stand and where my own experience has been, I think we've been able to crack how you do ROI for individual interventions, but there are issues with it. One is that a lot of outcomes of good learning interventions they have a massive amount of distance between end of the intervention and the eventual outcome. Second, there are too many variables between what you have trained people on and business outcomes. And the third challenge which I've seen is that a lot of times there is a very loose question asked, okay, we are investing so much money in L&D at an organizational level, give me the ROI on that. And the answer is typically very complex. That's problem number one. Problem number two is an interesting paradox. See, everyone is creating these great learning ecosystems, right? But what's parallelly happening, and it's emerging as a very interesting problem statement, is educating your learners and helping them adapt to those learning ecosystems. A lot of these scalable learning ecosystems, which we are also creating, are self-paced. When something is self-paced and you are sitting in front of a laptop and you're doing it something on your own, Your brain now is trying to balance four other things which are going on in your environment. So learning now is competing with everything else. That's a problem. The other big issue I have seen now with the learning ecosystem adoption is, and I partly blame social media for it. Social media has given people an impression that all learning is comfortable, joyous, it feels wonderful. Yes, it's supposed to. But deep learning, which really reworks the neural pathways in your brain, it's challenging. It requires you to commit. It requires you to go through the grind. And I don't think a lot of learners realize that. So that's problem number two. Problem number three is internal to L&D teams, and I've posted fairly frequently on this on LinkedIn. Reskilling L&D functions. I mean, I've been in L&D my entire life. I spent 22 years in it, and I can assure you that what I started off as and what I used to hire for as L&D core skills, they have gone through significant amount of change. And I don't think L&D professionals realize how fast the game is changing. I can give you a very quick example. There was a position I opened up 2 years back. I used to go to these roundtables and say, listen, I'm trying to hire for this position. And people would say, oh, you know what? It's such a futuristic position. The position was about writing scripts and creating videos. Now there are platforms available to write scripts and create videos. So that position went from being futuristic to redundant in like 2 years. And that is what is happening to L&D. So I think a big challenge facing all L&D leaders is rapid upskilling and reskilling of their teams.
Sure, Rohin. So let's balance the conversation. We talked about the trends, we talked about the challenges. Let's talk about the best practices or innovative ideas that organizations should consider in the realm of
Hmm.
L&D.
So I'll tell you what I have done or we have done as a firm, right? And what I think are our best practices there. There are many, but I'll give you three. One, over the last 3 years, we did a lot of work in creating what we call integrated learning maps. Now, these have been created for our entire workforce. All right. And what they do is they detail out right from the lowest level in the organizational pyramid all the way up to directors, that every year of your role, what are you expected to learn? So I want to make a distinction here. Okay, a lot of organizations say that, okay, you're an assistant manager, here is what you need to learn. No, this is not that. This is, you're an assistant manager year one, what should you be learning? You're an assistant manager year two, what should you be learning? And what we did was we spent time with business leaders, with the HR partners and everyone to try and figure out that how do skills get graded as a person grows. Number two, we have built very strong new leader journey. So all of our new leaders, right from assistant managers, managers, associate directors, directors to partners, there are very strong new leader journeys which have been built for them. These are hybrid journeys. They focus on critical skills people need in their new roles. Recently, a new manager journey won a Brandon Hall Gold Award for the best hybrid journey. So these journeys have ensured that these critical junctures when role changes are very well supported. Number three, best practice ties back to the problem I spoke about. My team has invested a lot of time and effort over the last 3 years into building muscle in skills which we believe are very important for learning teams and are becoming more important. Behavioral economics, all right, digital marketing, change management, design thinking. We have been building muscle in all of this, and have been constantly trying to apply this in how we function as an L&D team. And I think that's made a tremendous amount of difference.
Now, for the final segment,
All
where
right.
we would like you to share your personal touch as an NLD leader. So, how would you describe yourself in this role? And is there a favorite analogy or story that reflects your impact in the world of L&D?
I will tell you what I tell my team and I tell people who talk to me. I love L&D. There are many things I love, but I genuinely love learning and development. I am one of those people who believes learning and development makes a difference. I believe that you should aim to master skills in learning and development. Just in terms of a statement which I think brings together my views on learning these days, it's simple. I've been toying with this phrase, so you guys are probably among the first few people to hear this, which is, um, We should measure everything which matters, and we should only do what we can measure. So I'm toying with that phrase now as a guiding philosophy on how a learning function should be. Hmm. Story. I'll give you a very simple one. So I've been in L&D for 22 years, right? I remember when I started off, someone told me, "Arey, what are you doing? There's a cut copy paste function." And I was young. I felt very insulted. I remember, but I didn't know what to say. Last year, I was talking to this very smart senior leader from within the firm, and I remember him telling me that, "Listen, man, we have really come a long way, but I think we can be. I mean, I think you can build the best learning function in the world." I think he said that's what you should be going for. That's what, as a firm, we should be driving for. And you can argue about where we are and not are, but for me, the game changer, what stayed with me, was the faith that we can be that function. That was a game changer for me. So I think to wrap this up, my abiding philosophy, and I tell this to my team also, is that as a professional, right, especially in L&D, you need to ask yourself a very simple, clear question. If your stakeholders had the choice to work with anyone else in the world, would they still choose to work with you? And if they do make that choice, then you've done well. So that's it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Rohin, for making us part of your inspiring journey of L&D and sharing all those insights at L&D Superfood's first episodes with us. Your expertise is truly invaluable. Thank you so much for doing this for us. And to all the viewers, stay tuned for more episodes as we continue to explore the nourishing world of L&D. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and stay supercharged. Thank you so much.